The game that I chose for this project, again, was Phase 10. This is the World Tour version. I'm not really sure what the difference is between this and the regular one, but it was the one that I downloaded. I chose this game specifically because my family and I play this game during the holidays, and just when we all get together. The App Store considers it a relaxing rummy game, but when we all get together and we get competitive, it's not really that relaxing. And sometimes, depending on how many players we have, the game actually can go on for days. As you can probably imagine, the point of this game, if it's very similar to Rummy, is to kind of get rid of all of your cards in a strategic way. So yes, there is strategy to this game. I'll kind of just run you through how it works and how you play. Each phase is different. It has different instructions. So for example, this one, you need a run of 3 and a set of 3. So basically you have to, the colors don't matter right now. They will later in one of the phases further down, but basically you want to get the set of 3 is cards with the same number, and then your run of 3 is cards in a sequence that can be 1, 2, 3, 4. They could be 5, 6, 7, 8. It could be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's pretty simple, but obviously luck of the draw, so it can get difficult pretty easy. To kind of figure out if this game requires logic, I think it does. I think majority of games require logic. This one does, specifically because it's very easy to overlook what cards you do have, especially when people start putting their phases down and you still have a full deck of cards in your hand. So it does get kind of stressful and you do overlook things. But what I will say is, even if you have your phase down and you see someone else with their phase down, say you still have 2 cards left to discard and your partner across from you has a set of 3. If you have a 3 in your hand, you can lay that on them and then you can discard. So that's kind of majority of where the logic comes from, is just being aware of your surroundings and what phases are already down on the table in order to help you get out of the game faster and get to a 0 score. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my last video that I did. I know logic and strategy are different, but to me they're kind of the same when it comes to games. So because this kind of does require logic and like knowing your surroundings, I think when it comes to strategy, I would give the same example of trying to get all of your phase down so that you can start laying your cards on other people instead of just trying to discard every card that you have left one by one into the discard pile. In this game specifically, there is no like there's not really like a personal path or like personal relationships that are involved in it, so I don't really think that one applies. If there is a conflict in the game, I would say it's not with the game itself. Well, maybe. I guess a conflict for me would be that you can't put down. Sometimes it's annoying when you're like falling behind and you can't put down cards on someone else until you have your own phases down. So it just makes it really difficult because you eventually don't want to give away those cards, but at the same time, any cards that are 10, 11, 12 are 10 points. If they're a skip or a wild, they're 25 points, and anything 9 and under is 5 points, and you want to have the least amount of points, like the closest to 0 points by the end of the game. So that would be a conflict for me, at least. Sometimes I feel like I should be picking games that I'm able to answer the questions to, but these are games that I enjoy and that I already have on my phone. So when it comes to like conflict of interest or character flaws or anything like that, they don't necessarily apply to this game specifically. I would like to say when it comes to how complex this game is, maybe it's because I have been playing it since I was probably like 10 years old, but anyone that plays it for the first time or catches on, it's pretty easy to like move up in the levels. Although it is a card game, it is kind of luck of the draw, so you can't really help that. But I think when it comes to like the logic and the strategy that I was talking about earlier, with like knowing your numbers and knowing your hand, I mean, I really don't think it is that complex.